your warm words. It is very nice to be here. The energy that I've not got in any other for a very long time. Thank you to the Odisha Suchna Adhikar Abhiyan and the NCPRI for organizing this amazing meeting of hearts and minds. Mind और heart दोनों इसमें था शामिल. In many ways, despite the enormous challenges that the RTI movement has faced, and nothing expresses that more than the faces that we see on the board outside, our comrades that we have lost along the way, this is also a moment of hope. Umeed hai. There's umeed in this moment, and I think we should recognize that. The very fact that this event is happening, the very fact that so many of you have gathered over the last 3 days, the very fact that we have so many experts and intellectual resources at our command, the very fact that the community of activists is growing despite the threats, all this indicate a movement that is unstoppable and has the power of people coming together. Anjali rightly spoke about systemic change. But for that to happen, we need to look ahead. We also need to recognize that the climate in which the movement first started functioning has changed drastically over the last 10 years. The society in which we work today is very different from that of a decade ago. The social environment has an inequality that is even greater than ever. A coarseness, ugly words have entered public discourse. A cruelty that is completely new. People being killed for no reason. It's a new cruelty that we are facing today. Rising incidents of lynching and our helplessness to it is reflective of this. These are the things that we are confronting today. Political leaders who rule us now have come with huge personal ambitions. They have 1,000-year agendas. They want to change the constitution and create a new India. So it is in this new India that we have to plot our strategies. The first thing is that today the volume of information in public circulation is hundreds of times greater than when we first started on this journey. This means that we should learn how to put out information we create and make the most of the information we access in more effective and creative ways. Let us print, tweet, post, dance, sing out our information. In the group discussion I was in, we discussed the need for every institution to make periodic review of the RTIs they have done. That every time a person is arrested under section 41 of the CRPC, that information has to be made public, at least at the district level. How do we use this information so that ordinary people can be reached, so that they too can be part of the RTI revolution? We have just heard the case from Kashmir, where children too have learned how to use, have understood the value of RTI, where peers are interacting with hundreds of thousands of people and have become RTI masters. I take my hat off to you. This also requires a more sophisticated way of understanding how to use the media for our purposes. I say media, not just because of social media. We need to understand that mainstream media and social media are part of a continuum. What happens in one influences the other. So information flows from one platform to the other. We know that politicians have learned how to use the media and make it work for them. They pay mainstream media and get them on their side. They have teams to make their tweets and posts go viral. We are not able to match them with money power, but we can match them with people power, and that's what we should do today. The media too is looking for credible information. Recently, last year, the Indian Express ran a 6-part series by Utkarsh Anand titled Your Right to Know, an Express RTI application on the number of bad loans in the country. So this kind of thing is very useful. The media itself is learning the power of RTI. To both the media and to the RTI activists and the whistleblower, the sources of their information are sacrosanct. Because if sources are destroyed, then they themselves are destroyed, their stories are destroyed. They have the implied right to protect their sources of information. So when we talk of protection, when we talk of protection of RTI activists, we should also talk about the protection of their sources of information. Someone remarked that Gauri Lankesh's picture should have been included in the large board outside we saw today. But Lankesh is not the only one. Only recently we lost 29-year-old Tripura journalist Shantanu Bhaumik. What is interesting to note now is the way in which journalists are being targeted, while some others are being celebrated. So now journalists, at least ordinary journalists, are realizing that they, as messengers, are being targeted. We recently participated in rallies and protests that haven't occurred in the journalistic community for a long time. We need to build bridges with journalistic bodies. Today we need these messengers more than ever before, because this is a period when the difference between true and false information is blurred. When false information is influencing politics and personal choices, we need courageous people willing to speak truth to power. The word speak truth to power is an old one, but recently one of my friends and colleagues, Rohini Singh, said that this is why she wrote that story on Jay Shaw. She wrote this story, and which invited, of course, a lot of backlash. She wrote this story because she wanted to speak truth to power. Let us honor her, and let us honor RTI activists and whistleblowers in our midst. Break the isolation they experience. It hurt me so much to hear the fear and anxiety in which they operate, and yet it cannot be stopped. And that is the amazing thing. Let us honor them. Their silences let us break. Their work let us make available to others, and so that the climate of fear and intimidation in which they work ends. Thank you very much.